Hi Capricorn, welcome to your January 2022 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Cappy, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your before we get into that, I just want to say a happy new year to you. I truly hope you have a wonderful new year, and I really hope that the start to the new year is a great one. Remember, you've been given a fresh start, a new year and a clean slate to do whatever you want with, to create whatever you want with. So make sure you use this instead of having it used for you. That being said as well, be sure to be fair with yourself, absolutely, but also extend that same kindness to somebody in your life. Is there somebody that you can bury a hatchet with? Let go of an old feud, let go of a challenge. This is a harmonious year because it's ruled by the energy of the number 6. Give yourself all of the chances that you have, that you can possibly have, for harmony in your life. Forgive something, let something go, give somebody else a fresh start or a redo. All right, now with that said, let's get into your year ahead. But before we do, quickly, again, one more thing. Happy damn birthday to you. I truly hope that if you are celebrating your birthday this month, that you have a wonderful holiday, a wonderful birthday. And I really hope that you fill that day with a little bit of everything that you want the entire year ahead to have in it for you, because you're imprinting the universal energies with that goodness. All right. For your actions and interactions with the world at large in January, I'm just going to throw them all over the floor. You have 2 cards that pop out, and they are, this is very interesting, the King of Cups and the Hanged Man. Right now, this is very interesting to me. I was just thinking to myself, the Hanged Man doesn't look right. It's because he was upright. So you've got this. This tells me that a Pisces male is very likely to be an important part of your January, right? So the reason I say that, King of Cups, water sign male, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. The Hangman card represents Neptune, and so therefore Pisces energy. That is a Pisces man. So this is in your actions and interactions with the world at large. There's 2 things that come to me. One, a Pisces man is going to be a very important part of your January for some reason. This is likely to be somebody that you're interacting with a lot more, or somebody that is a lot more to the fore in your maybe your life or your mind. Now, another way that this could show up for you is you are tapping into something either deeply spiritual or deeply creative. This is also going to see you utilizing your emotional intelligence to ask yourself, where am I too self-sacrificing? Where is it that I'm giving away too much of who I am? Where is it that maybe my job or my family, or maybe, this is going to see you really starting to do that thing that we all do. Once you get to like 30, I think probably about 32, it's around that age that you start to really parent yourself. If you're a Capricorn, it's probably a lot earlier. Let's call a spade, right? All jokes aside though, this could be a time where you're really coming into this, okay, I need to look after myself better. And by searching the emotional memory banks, I think this is about to, it's going to be about you getting really in touch with that spirit of, self-nurturing, self-nourishing, right? It's not the Queen of Cups for sure, but it is about delving into the emotions and using them wisely. Now, for your money and materials, you've got the World card. Very nice. So you've got this with the Hanged Man, right? Because it's right next to it and it's the extra card. And this almost suggests to me as well, so the Hanged Man, the World card is usually about communities and or families. Now this is really interesting because the cards don't appear to be playing ball with the layout. There's something about these that feels like they are interruptions, but this isn't about world events. This is specifically about you, right? There is a world event in here that I think we're likely to see, and this might be the passing of a prominent figure. And it's interesting that this has come up in your sign because we've got Venus retrograde for most of the month up until the 29th of January in the sign of Capricorn. And obviously Capricorn is all to do with the boss, the CEO, the, you know, etc. So very, very interesting. Now, for you specifically, this suggests that an older person's money, finances or resources may be in your hands for some reason. You might be having to, you know, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a grandparent, maybe there's something that needs to be done that they aren't able to do for themselves, and so you're having to step in. And I'm sorry to say that it looks like there is extra responsibility on you. I don't think that this is a financial burden. I think it's the burden of having to deal with somebody else's finances for them, if that makes sense. Now, that being said, on a more personal note, sorry, I've got that little, and it only happens as soon as I get to the Scorpio reading. Like, it literally, like, I start to get, and it's like there's someone's got like a little feather and they're just tickling the end of my nose. It drives me bloody mental. All right, now for specifically your finances, money and resources, the World card bodes very well. This is the card of promotions. This is the card of expansion, and not like the Jupiterian expansion where it's too quick, too fast. This is stuff that's come over time, and it's recognition. So for some of you, this could be you know, maybe you get a promotion, maybe you get a pay rise, maybe you get some sort of, you know, boost to your earning potential shows up for you. It wouldn't be a surprise to me either as well this month if a lot of you started to see or hear things about, you know, you being elevated in your work in some way. So really interesting. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Page of Swords. This month, be careful, right? So, and the reason I say this is the Page of Swords can be quite a feisty card, right? Now, there is an interview coming up for some of you. This could be a job interview. It could be all kinds of interviews. It doesn't have to just be for work, but it does feel like there's a meeting or an interview of some sort that's coming up. For some of you, this is going to be about a change in community or culture, or maybe even workplace, or maybe even home. What I like about this is it gives you that Capricorn grit that you're known for to really deal with a subject matter at hand, but it looks like you are having to deal with it. I will say as well, with that Page of Swords, you might find that your temper is a little bit shorter this month. And I think that's because whatever this challenge, issue, or whatever it is that arises, it's like it's, you know, when something just drags on and on and on, and you're like, you know what, let's be done with this now, right? This could be that. Just watch out for this though, and anyway you're having to deal with peers, positions of authority, maybe even people that are older than you, that it looks like there's like a real frustration here. You know, on the brighter note, like I said, there's an interview or a meeting of some sort that could really see, you know, you could be getting some really good news. Now, for your heart and hearth, you've got the 10 of Swords. This is a card of finality, right? It is a card of endings, completions, culminations. The 10 of Swords with the Page of Swords, that's a bust up, right? Now, here's where this is really interesting to me. I don't necessarily think this is between you and your partner. I actually feel like this might be between you and a family member. It could be something that, you know, I'm sorry, and I really hope I'm wrong on this front. It could be that, you know, maybe some words get really serious and they get very out of hand. And, you know, I will say this, be careful, because with that Page of Swords in your communication sector, whatever you say, there's going to be no taking this back, right? And it will be the same on both sides. So just be very conscious. Like, if you can feel yourself getting into something with someone and you're thinking this is escalating quickly, be careful, because the chances are, if you go into this, whatever is said in that argument, 10 of Swords, there's no coming back from it, right? Once you've said what you said and it's out there, there'll be no bringing it back, and it will be the same for whatever somebody says to you. Now, that's one way this could play out. On a personal relationship level, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. For some of you, this could spell the end of a relationship. If you know that your relationship has literally been on the rocks for the last however long, this might be the month where both of you are just like, do you know what, it's almost like I don't actually see it getting to the point where it's like, it's more just going to be a case you both throw up your hands and say, you know what are we doing, what's the point? For those of you that are single, this is not a month for dating or relationships, I'm sorry to say. I don't like that energy for it. I just really don't. Your first week of the month, you have the Sun card. This is beautiful. So the challenges are not so bad. They're bad, but I'm still going to stick by what I said. You know, with certain conversations and potential arguments, there'll be no coming back from them. So you got to be careful. But this is gorgeous, especially here, because this is you being really honest with yourself, right? This is you being really honest about what you want, what you need. The Sun card with the Hanged Man is deeply spiritual. It's very, very high vibrational energy, and it's really restorative. This first week of the month, you could probably feel better than you felt in a long time. And I invite you to ask yourself to observe why you're feeling better. Is it because there's a certain person that's not around? Is it because you're not at your job? Is it because, you know, there is a certain person that is around? Like, ask yourself, you're going to feel so good here in this first week of the month. Ask yourself, what is the factor that is different, or is the way that I really want it? Because this is going to highlight to you what you want and need more of. And as soon as you realize that, you can start to give yourself that. For your second week of the month, you've got the Hermit card. All right, so there's no getting around it. I hear you, Tarot. You're getting very loud, mate. Calm down, chill out. There is an element here of an elderly person. All right, I can't ignore it anymore. It was here already within the first 4 cards, and I was like, maybe. The World card, older people, mature people. The Hermit card, older people, wisdom. There may be a challenge, issue, or potentially some challenging news that comes up around an elderly person. And this whole thing about you doing something with somebody's finances or resources on somebody else's behalf, it really rings true here. Now, there's that. When it comes to your finances and your resources, that Hermit card is asking you to take a minute. So whatever this new influx of money is, before you use it or spend it or put it to that thing that you already wanted, take a minute. All right, don't do it just yet. For the third week, you've got the Judgment card. I guess what I really want to say to you here is give yourself some time, right? Because there's going to be some news that comes in for you around this third week that is going to change everything, right? Maybe this is what leads to this. Maybe this is what, you know, maybe all of this stuff has something to do with this. I just kind of feel like there's going to be something where you're like, I cannot stand back and say nothing anymore. It's like you're going to have to say something, but how you say it is going to make all the difference. All right. For your fourth week of the month, you've got the High Priestess card. Right next to the Judgment card and right underneath the Ten of Swords. Gosh, I don't really know how to say this, but I'm just going to have to find a way to say it. So this looks like one of those moments where somebody posthumously sends a message, right? So what I mean by this is, you know, touch wood, maybe you're going through somebody who's passed over stuff and you realise that, you know, for the last 10 years they've had a second partner. Or, you know, maybe they had a child that they never told anybody about. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, it could be like a really shocking piece of information that comes up that completely rewrites your thoughts or history around somebody that you know and love. Now, the signature of the High Priestess with the Judgment card, that is literally mediumship, ancestor worship, etc. And these come up with that Ten of Swords, with that Page of Swords. And this feels for me like somebody that has passed, or, you know, may pass, they leave behind something that nobody expected. This could be some really interesting news, or do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be awful, but it does feel like it will be like, whoa, that was a big revelation. For your new moon message, so your new moon this year, your new moon is on the 2nd of January, new moon in Capricorn. It's actually quite a nice one. You've got the gate 55 and abundance. Set your intention. What do you, when you think of abundance, it's more than money for everybody, right? We all think it's money, but it's not. You know, it's not just the material stuff. Abundance is so much more than that. And I think this new moon can help you really define clearly what abundance you need, what abundance you want, and what abundance actually means to you. When it comes to your full moon message, you've got the gate 20 and the now. This card always says to me, like, the present moment is where your power is. So that full moon that takes place in the opposite sign, in the sign of Cancer, I think this is going to be peeling back the layers for some of you in relationships, partnerships, and not just of the personal kind, maybe of the familial kind, maybe of the platonic kind, maybe of the professional kind. I think that full moon is really going to highlight to you what relationships in your life are good and healthy and which ones aren't. And I think you're going to be really honest about what that means to you. I don't know why, but there's a few things that this was a really interesting read. With that said, I hope... I hope your January is a little bit lighter than this, you know, and a lot of it doesn't apply, but it will be interesting to see what people share if they, you know, feel they can, because I realise that some of this looks deeply personal. It looks like a very transformational month for you guys, all right? So take it easy with yourselves, and it looks like that's the one thing that you're doing really, really well. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Happy New Year to you. I truly hope you have a great one. For those of you that are continued subbies, you know Rafi loves you, and for those of you that are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonated, hit that subscribe button. Take care, and I'll see you soon.